welcome back to another video. I'm here with Louis. Hello, Louis. So you coach a lot of people through lots of different grade ranges and abilities and strengths.
Yeah.
And I figured what might be interesting is to run through some of the most common things that you see at each grade range, perhaps mistakes or habits that climbers make or have.
I think this is a great idea for a video. I'm going to give away all my coaching secrets at once. So watch this, you never have to put me through any lessons.
Perfect.
I know, well, it's not perfect for me. But so, okay, well, I've got some pretty good ideas for specific, like you say, either common mistakes or common habits that people pick up at different grade ranges.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to specify that this is the difficulty of giving generalised tips. I've got ones that I think are more common at these specific grade ranges, but that doesn't mean there aren't really experienced climbers in a higher grade bracket actually struggling with something I would recommend mostly for lower grade climbers and vice versa.
So for this video we've broken down each grade bracket. We've got grades 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9 and then 9 plus, and for each of those grade boundaries we are going to have a climber join us to chat through with Louis some of the things that they maybe find difficult within that grade range and to see whether or not that marries up with what Louis commonly sees in climbers that he coaches. We are now going to go and meet Maggie, who has very kindly offered her time today to demo for our first grade bracket.
Let's go. So I'm here with Maggie, our V0-V9 climber. Hey Maggie.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
So in my opinion as a coach, the most common thing I see at the grade bracket you're working on is struggling to commit to moves if they don't feel that secure, or struggling to maintain confidence if a climb feels a bit too difficult for us. Does it sound at all relevant to you?
Yes.
Ah, it does. Okay, that's good news, because these don't necessarily apply to everybody, but sounds like it does apply to Maggie. I heard from Hannah that there was a climb you were trying earlier which you had a couple of goes at and then chose to walk away from because it felt like a little bit too much of a commitment.
Yeah.
Is that climb nearby?
Yeah. It's this black one right over
that's
here.
lucky. Okay, great. Well, it's right here. To start with then, do you mind just having a go at it and seeing where we get to?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about what we can do to address that issue.
Okay.
All right then. Nice, Maggie. Yeah. Superb. Go on, Maggie. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what to do.
Oh my gosh.
Go on. Oh, come on.
Yeah, no.
Great effort. Really, really good, Maggie.
Oh, yeah, that felt super dodgy.
Oh, it's a scary move, huh? Okay, let me just have a try as well, because I just want to see what that move is like. Oh my God. This bit's quite hard, you know? Ooh. Okay. That is, I think, perfect definition of quite a committing move. Good news though, I wasn't wrong. Getting there felt quite hard.
Yeah.
That move on its own though, not too bad, but let's just talk about things we can do to help us commit to that move.
Okay.
Because it's easy for me to say as a more confident climber of if you just go for it, it's not that bad at all, but it's hard to have that level of confidence unless you've already got it and proven it to yourself.
Yeah.
So first thing I'd recommend you do is just climb up and feel what that next position is like. Because we'd said one of the issues is you don't really know what it's going to feel like when you get there, so it's really hard to then make yourself commit to that move. So climb up the yellows and then get into the position you'd be if you'd just done that move.
Okay,
so I think you'll go all the way up the yellows, probably go left, or maybe both hands onto that one, get your left foot on, and then reach back down. And I'm hoping what you find when you get there is you'll be like, it's actually not that bad.
Okay.
It's actually quite nice here. Nice. Hey, brilliant. Do you want to just finish the climb while you're there? Oh, very nice. Okay, great.
It's a little...
It's not perfect, I know, it's not a jug, but
it felt okay. The foot felt pretty solid.
That's good to know. Okay then, so as we've just seen, one thing that really helps is just reducing some of the unknown factors. Like if I'm lunging for a hold and I don't know how good it is, that really puts me off. if I can go up and just check what it's like, sometimes I find like, oh, it's actually not so bad. Okay, great. So now I think we can go for 2 extra things that I'd really recommend to make this move a little bit easier to commit to. One would be just focusing on a specific task. That you can just focus on that when you get there. Instead of focusing on committing all the weight to that left foot, what if we just instead focus on just step your right foot off and up higher into the wall? I'll show you what I mean by that. Because actually you are really close to reaching that one. You had your left foot on, you had your right foot still here, but I think that right foot is what's limiting you from getting any further onto it. I'm pretty lanky, so I think, yeah, sorry Maggie, no, I can reach it, but you can't. So you're gonna have to focus on, don't worry about this, just focus on that.
Okay.
If that right foot moves, you'll then be able to reach it. Okay? Last bit of detail that I think is really good for us to think about is what should we expect the move to feel like? Yeah? Because as we said, if you get there and something feels wrong, very hard to make ourselves do it. Now, in an ideal world, you'd climb up to that position and go, oh, I was mistaken. It's not scary at all. Here we go. But I think that's quite unlikely. I think you're going to get there and go, nope, it's still scary. So let's expect it to be scary. So yeah? This works really well for me, because then it means when you get there, you're gonna go, oh no, it's scary. Just as I was expecting, this is all going according to plan. Okay, now foot out, stand up. Okay? It might not happen for us first time, but let's have a go and see what happens.
Okay.
Go on, Maggie. Yeah. So good.
Okay.
High left foot.
Okay.
I think one hand on each is even better, yeah. Now just focus on stepping that right foot off, go on. Yeah, look up. Go on. Yeah, Maggie. Wow! Excellent work.
Oh my gosh. Oh, my heart is like, just.
So good. Okay, so 2 things for us to talk about the experience we just had, which I think are really, really important. You tried this climb earlier and then chose to walk away, right?
Yeah.
But as proven, you were always able to do it. It was always there, and you hadn't got any stronger in the last few minutes. Maintaining a high level of confidence and just carrying on working at something, even if it doesn't feel like you're going to get it, is a really tricky part of climbing. The other thing that I'd really recommend you do is, okay, you've done that move once, and as you say, you're like, oh my God, my heart's like really, really going. I'm not going to, but if I made you do it another 100 times, how do you think it would feel at the end of that? Presuming you did it every time.
Okay. Yeah. Then it would feel super easy.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I think the other thing that you could really benefit from is not just doing a scary move once, but making it feel familiar and doing it a bunch of times. But Maggie, great work on that one. That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
No, you're very welcome. Yeah, you did all the work.
So I wanted to take a little break from the video that we are filming with Louis to introduce this brand new t-shirt design. So we, over the last few months, have been working with Renee on a t-shirt design. On the Hannah Morris Bouldering channel, it is really important to us that we embody the values of pushing your comfort zone and pushing your limits. So this is what we've landed on with the Venture Further tee. I really love this design. I really love the fit. So I thought it might be a little bit useful to just run through what size I'm personally wearing. So I'd normally go for kind of like a baggier fit. So this is a medium. I'm 5'5". And usually a medium, but this is like quite an oversized, I'd say like skatery fit, which I personally really dig. It makes me feel a lot cooler than I am. Yeah, I'm just like really psyched on this. I think that, well, I hope that people are going to love it as much as we do. So the Venture Further tees are available to buy now. Should you want to buy one, then please do. It helps to support the channel. The link is now live, so I'm going to leave info in the description of this video so you can click through and purchase one. You can also purchase a signed garment if you'd like to. I hope you love the t-shirts as much as we do. And now back into the rest of the tips from Lou.
All right, so now we're on to the tip for V3 to 5 climbers, and I'm joined by Sam, who I've definitely never met before. Hello, Sam.
Who are you? Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you. Yes.
Yeah, and you. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
So, in my experience as a coach, this is a really common one. I think about 90% of the coaching requests I get almost read exactly the same way of, help, I've plateaued.
Oh, really?
I did my first V5 recently, or my first V4, and I'm not getting any better. Coach, help me.
Yeah.
And I think actually talking about that feeling of plateau is a really, really useful one, because this is usually what I explain in every session. I think feeling like we've plateaued can be an issue in itself, because I think everyone is pretty much the same with this. If I feel like I'm making loads of progress, I'm really, really motivated, my incentive to go to the gym and try really hard is obviously a lot higher.
Yeah.
Whereas if I've felt for ages, I'm like, oh, I'm not getting any better. Whatever I do, I'm just the same level. My motivation falls, and motivation is important for making progress.
Yeah.
So feeling like we plateaued, I think, impacts our motivation.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about how to fix it. I think, as I usually explain to these students, feeling like we've plateaued is a matter of how we measure progress.
Yeah, I think this is kind of my style, but it looks kind of complicated.
Yeah, I know,
Wouldn't you
I know
say?
Sam's climbing quite well.
Yeah.
This is well within his range.
Yeah.
But knowing Sam, I think it's also the sort of thing that he might try a couple of times and go, oh my God, this is way too hard. I'm not going to be able to do this.
That doesn't sound like me.
No, doesn't it?
So yeah, I think Louis said it gets maybe V4. It's weird you not actually coaching me. Yet. Wow.
Come on, Sam. Whoa!
Okay. I'd probably try and bang out to that.
Oh, I like that idea.
That seems really hard though.
Do it.
Okay, do it. This volume is not helpful at all.
Yeah, Sam. Come on. Come on, Sam. Come on, Sam. Go for it. It's decent. Go on.
Yeah. Oh! Damn. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's supposed to be tough. It's a hard climb. So you've only had 2 goes. Obviously, if you didn't do the climb on your first go and you did it on your second go,
Yeah.
it would be very easy for you to spot the little bits of progress you're making.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it on your second go, and despite that, I want you to tell me all of the progress that you found between the first and the second go. What happened on the first go?
Well, first go, I had no idea what I was doing for the start.
Yeah.
So I tried something and failed.
Yeah, okay, and then second go, how'd that first move go?
Better actually.
You did the first move
did the
suddenly,
first
and
move.
then you also did the second move,
Yeah.
and then, okay, although you didn't, this is going to be a tricky one,
Yeah.
you didn't do the third move.
No.
If I, for some reason, came over saying, I don't believe you could ever do that third move, tell me some evidence from what just happened which would convince me that actually you are probably able to do that move.
Well, I touched it.
You hit the hold, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you kind of held it for a second or two, right?
Almost, yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't hit the hold that well, and you still
No.
almost hit it. So this is kind of the exercise I do all the time of like,
Yeah.
what is the most positive I can view this?
But if you're viewing it in a positive way, I guess it makes you more excited to actually try that
Yeah,
move.
right?
Rather than be like, oh, I don't want to do it again.
Really good. Give it a third go then.
Alright. This is a cool one.
Yeah, it is right. I thought you'd
Yeah.
enjoy it.
It's kind of interesting.
Get it. Yes, Sam, come on. Oh, great effort. Okay, once more, tell me all the progress between the second and the third attempt you just had.
Well, I actually caught the volume.
You did the move that you fell off
And-
before, yeah.
Yeah, and it did feel more comfortable going from a lower foot.
Yeah.
So that's something now I know to do next time.
Really good, really good. And okay, now what about that next move? You didn't stick it,
I didn't.
but instead of telling me things that went badly about that move, tell me all the things that went well.
Well, I touched it.
You touched it, yeah.
That was about it.
I thought actually the level of commitment you went for it with was awesome.
Oh, really?
The fact that you missed it and then like splashed onto the mats, I was like, oh, Sam was like
I was trying.
really focused on going for
Yeah.
it. And you weren't like giving it a half-hearted effort. That
Yeah.
I think is also something to be like really positive about. So
Okay, cool.
again, I think you can see what we're doing here, folks. Cultivating relentless optimism is a really, really useful
go,
skill
Sam.
that makes it much, much easier to be persistent and stuff. Go on,
Yeah,
buddy.
you're good at
Really
relentless
works.
optimism, aren't you?
Yeah, I taught myself to do it.
Nope. That's really... Oh, I thought about that heel, but it was way too bunchy. Nathan, that wouldn't be one for you, the heel.
But yeah, generally that idea of I did my first of this grade,
Yeah.
and until I do the next grade, I feel like I'm not making any progress.
Yeah.
So first thing I usually ask them is, okay, since you did your first V4 that you're really excited about, have you done any other V4s? And usually they're like, yes, lots of V4s. I'm like, okay. Have you flashed any? And they're like, yeah, actually 1 or 2. Like, and have you started trying V5s? And like, yeah, actually, I did all of the moves of a V5 last week. I didn't do the whole thing though.
Yeah.
And then when we start talking about this, suddenly it's really obvious of, obviously our progress isn't going, did my first V3, no progress, no progress. Did my first V4, no progress, no progress. Did my first V5. Our progress is continually going up, and then we just see those clear markers of, now I did my first of this grade.
Yeah.
So my tip for getting over this feeling of losing motivation, feeling like we've plateaued, is change the way you measure progress. Don't do it by the grades, because then it always feels like you're plateauing. All right, so we're on to our V5 to V7 tips now. I'm joined by Hannah.
Hello.
Hi Hannah, nice to meet you. Hi, thanks for joining for the video. So, tricky one for this one.
Yes.
Again, like, not necessarily for everybody, but actually I think this is a pretty common one for people at around this grade. Once we get to doing like V7s or so, I think it's not just natural, but kind of unavoidable that along our journey of getting more experience as a climber, we've acquired a little bit of a need. I.e., like, I think I now do V7 boulders, and if I was to fall off an easy boulder,
Sure.
that would upset me.
I think the goalposts change, don't they? Of the
Yeah.
the word should comes into play a little bit more, and you
go on.
look for things in the gym that you're like, okay, that's the V4,
Yeah.
and I should be able to climb V4, but that V4 looks quite hard, and like I might not climb it, so I'm going to avoid it because I don't want to be proven wrong.
Yeah. So I think there are 2 really good things to talk about here. One is how to protect our egos so that we can try supposedly a climb with a low grade on it, but one which actually really challenges us and teaches us some really good things. I have now chosen this purple climb. Tell me what you think of this purple climb.
So this purple climb, interestingly, in my warm-up, I did clock it, and
You did?
I
As in you did it, or?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
no,
you saw it,
No,
you saw
I
it.
saw it.
Okay.
And then I very quickly discarded it as something that I
Ah.
didn't want to start off my session by trying that because I thought it looked quite hard, and I
Yeah.
might fall off, and it might set me up in the wrong way
Yeah.
for my session.
Yeah.
Having a look at the grade and being like, oh, that's too hard for me to try. I'm not going to learn anything. I'm not going to have any fun on that boulder because
Yeah.
I'm going to walk past it. But you're not going to let me walk past it. I'm going
Nope.
to try it now.
Nope.
And I'm going to learn something. Have fun.
Yeah. There might be a little. Yeah, you just saw it.
This.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to call
This
it out or
one
not.
that's-
I think that is yours. That is a.
Yeah.
There's a purple hold under that there. Wait.
That's a fairly positive crimp in my back.
See, there you go. If you were to
Okay.
fall off a V1 a few times, why exactly is that really frustrating and embarrassing? What does it make you feel?
You feel quite proud of the progress you make,
Yes,
right? And it
yes.
feels like backwards progress if you're working stuff that you've previously, like a milestone that you've reached
Yeah.
and then can't reach again, even though that
Yeah.
kind of falls apart in every way because every climb is different. So it's
Yes.
not like you tick V1, then you've ticked every V1 in the world.
But this is exactly the issue, is that, exactly as you say, it feels like when I used to fall off easy climbs, or when you fall off a climb way below our grade limit, nice, Hannah.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like we take it as evidence of like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought I was a good climber, but clearly I can't even climb a V1.
Yes.
So I think that's the mistake. I think taking a snapshot of our performance and basing all of our confidence and our value on just that snapshot,
Yes.
I think that's the mistake.
Ooh.
Oh, you hit it so well! Really good!
That was,
Go on.
yeah, that felt quite good. My foot slipped
Yeah.
off this one,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's like a positive to take, I think, is that I was committed. I was
Yeah, you
going.
really committed. You hit the hold really well. How'd it feel?
Yeah, all right.
Sweet. The second one that I think is really good to talk about is why could we actually choose to find it really exciting to try stuff which is way lower than our usual grade range and actually get loads of cool stuff from it? And I suspect that what people get almost addicted to is the feeling of making rapid progress, where they're like, oh my god, I did my first V1, so exciting, did my first V2,
Yeah.
wow, here we go. So let's stick with that idea. Feeling like we're making progress and learning stuff is what we really, really enjoy.
Sure.
Cool. So, if I was to put you on a climb of a high grade or something that you're already really, really good at,
Yeah.
it would actually be kind of difficult for you to learn much more. You'd have to do a lot of work to learn more about something you're already really good at.
Yeah.
Whereas if I put you on something you're not very good at,
Yeah.
you've got loads to learn really, really quickly. Just so
Yeah.
we're both doing the same thing. Okay, if I was to go around the gym looking for a climb to challenge myself on, what I want to do is I'd get on like a V8 or a V9 on a big steep bit, and it would make me feel great, because I like that.
Yeah.
Instead, I've spotted the climb that I would avoid like the
Okay,
plague.
are you going to try this one?
I'm going to make myself
Yeah.
try this, yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to do the same thing as you.
Okay, you
Take
can
it
be in the
turns.
same boat. I think I think honestly such a big step is the first step of being able to be honest enough with yourself that you know that not doing things that you should be able to do makes you feel bad
So
about
you
yourself.
talked about that like should thing. I talk about that a lot in climbing sessions. So I think, what do you see as the issue of saying I should be able to do this? What's difficult about that phrase? If you compared it to I could be able to do this, why does should sound a bit more negative?
Well, should places the expectation that you'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah, it adds judgment, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think let's try this with the idea of
Yeah.
oh, okay, I could be able to do this. Rather than every time you say I should be able to do this, you're adding that layer of well, you fell off again.
Yeah. Get it. So good. So good. Come on.
I think I'm going to solve it in a way that I don't think is very helpful.
Come on. Yeah.
Okay. So that isn't going to work very easily.
I mean, it didn't look a million miles away.
No, I think there are better options.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't have. I was like, well, I haven't used this hold.
Yeah.
So I've still got some things to learn on this. I'm going to try that again. Right, you try yours again, then we'll switch back. Yeah. So good. Stick it. Yeah. Yeah, Hannah.
Oh.
As good as they need to be. Go on, crack on. Yeah. Stand. Yes, Hannah. Come on. Lean into it. So good. Come on.
Good God. How do you feel about bolt holes? I feel pretty good about them.
on. One around the corner looks really, really nice. Can you reach it? Higher. A little bit higher. Come on, there's the edge of it. I think you want the other one again though. Yeah. Keep leaning. Yeah, you're there now. Higher. You're on it. Come on, Hannah. Let's go. Yes. Come on. Punch for it, right hand. Yes, Hannah. Yeah. Great effort. What an effort. Well done. How was that?
Yeah, really nice. Definitely had all of that, the feeling of like, if I don't get it, I'm going to be like disappointed.
Yeah.
But then actually just really enjoyed like the movement.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to give my one another go because actually I thought it was a really good example about how for that last move, I immediately went for my favourite solution for everything.
Of like, can I pounce?
Yeah, exactly. And actually, this is a really good example of like,
No, you just missed it.
I'm missing completely. Where is it? There. Okay. My usual preferences actually don't work, and I need to learn something new because what I normally do isn't working. I actually saw an option when I got there. I was like, I think there's a sketchy drop knee here.
Oh! Shin all right?
Yeah. Let's take that as a positive. Didn't hurt myself.
You're not injured.
Not injured. The other one I saw is, I think you're looking at it as well. They put a foothold there. I worry I'm supposed to put my foot like over my hand and then stand up on that, and I chose not to do it because I found it scary. So now I'm going to make myself try those.
Are you going to try it? Okay.
I'll try the drop knee first.
Come on.
And then I think I'm going to have to go for what is obviously the intended solution. I'll see if I can learn that. I'm thinking too much about what I did the first time. Hang on. But now I will move on in a minute, because me doing this bouldering is not supposed to be part of the video.
Yeah. Come on, do it. Yeah, Louis, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, Louis, yeah. Come on.
Oh, damn.
You got it. Yes! Oh, that was so
I have more to learn.
That was
Definitely
so
got more to
good.
learn on that move.
Is there an argument that Because you had nearly flashed it on your first go,
Yeah.
you knew that you were able to do it, and so actually the should maybe became the should had
It could be a
shifted a little
positive
bit because
thing.
it's like the positive feeling of not I should be able to do this,
Yeah.
but I know that I've done this, so I can get back to it, and therefore I'm getting frustrated because I feel like I can do it.
No, I get what you're saying, but for me, that means the appropriate phrase is, I could do this.
Yeah,
There's
I
two
can.
phrases I can say. I can either say, I could do this, which means I understand that I have the capacity to achieve the challenge in front of me.
Yeah.
Or I can say, I should be able to do this, which is saying the same thing. I understand I have the capacity to do this challenge, and now I'm going to be angry every time I fall off it because I've just
Come on,
said I
Lou.
should be able to do this.
Okay.
I think, because I think about it a lot, because I talk about this with students very
Yeah.
often. I don't think there is a time where if we were saying I should be able to do this, it wouldn't be nicer and kinder to ourselves to say, I could do this. It just removes that layer of judgment.
You got it. Come on. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Brilliant. That was sick.
Voila! Yay! Hooray! I've lost everything, nothing left to learn from me. Okay, so we're on to our tips for V7-9 climbers, and I'm now joined by Nathan.
Hello, Louis, how are you
Hello,
doing?
Nathan, I'm very good. Thank you for joining me.
That's all right.
So, tip that I've got for climbers in this range is to not switch off your concentration when you're doing easy and mid-grade boulders. It's very easy to get really excited about like, oh, I climb hard now, so I'm just here to work on the really, really hard climbs. That's when I'm going to really start concentrating and trying hard.
Yeah.
And that means that we end up doing what I'd maybe describe as junk mileage while we're warming up. We don't really concentrate on what we're doing because we're not made to. The climbs aren't hard enough that we need to concentrate.
Yeah.
So we switch off, we get away with a whole bunch of mistakes, we slowly ingrain some bad habits, and then we switch on to hard climbs going, right, now I'm going to climb really, really well.
Yes.
But that's not what you've warmed up doing. So
Yes.
it's actually quite a lot harder to suddenly start climbing loads better as you get onto the harder grades. So I think doing repeated laps on a mid-grade boulder is a really, really useful thing to do because I almost view it as like bringing all the knowledge and learning I can out of all of the boulders that I do.
Sure.
So I've got a particular one for you. I thought we'd take a look at this peak climb.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think. I saw a whole bunch of very small details. Really nice. None of which meant that you were going to fall off this climb. But let's imagine you're doing a much harder version of the same moves.
Yeah.
But suddenly any of those small errors might be enough that you fall off. Tell me some of the things.
There were a few things that I didn't like so much, or
Go on.
like I kind of felt, I guess, yeah, you kind of, brain's half switched on and half switched off,
Yeah.
like you say, because you can get away with a bit more. There was a foot swap in the middle,
Yeah.
where I felt like I fumbled it a little bit.
Yeah. And actually, just while we're talking about those foot swaps, I thought you looked a little bit indecisive about exactly which one you were going to use.
It took a moment. There was a position, I find this often on climbs, being a little bit off balance when I'm grabbing some of the holds.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been somewhere in this sequence. There was like a moment where I pulled up and I could feel I was kind of swinging out, but it's fine because I'm going to grab that hold before I lose my position too much.
Yeah, exactly what Nathan's doing is really, really good. I think we can just keep using the same sequence you just used,
Okay.
but just get like really perfectionist about it and start going like, okay, what if the tiniest error was like suddenly really, really important? How can I just make all of this even better? Gorgeous, man, already looks completely different from that first lap. But let's leave that for now, because I think we've
Yeah.
talked about the idea of repeating the same sequence to find little differences and little bits of improvement. Now I think we should explore some slightly different sequences. The
Okay,
first
cool.
question I'd have for you is, what's that hold for? Because you haven't touched that one yet, and it's there for a reason. My first lap of a boulder below my max level, I'm probably just going to do stuff that suits me. I'm going to
Yeah.
enforce my own preferences. Now I think you should either, as we're doing here, look for the intended sequence, even though it doesn't suit you and you've got better options that suit you more. Learn the intended sequence anyway,
Sure.
just in case
Yeah.
you didn't have the preference that suits you available. Beautiful.
Oh, I really like that actually. I
It's
really
quite
like
a
that.
nice sequence, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
cool
like
that way. When we climb on stuff below our maximum, either we just repeat what we're already good at without realising, or at best we just miss loads and loads of useful things to learn.
Yeah.
If we take the time to either do some movement drills on easy climbs while we're warming up, or repeat mid-grade boulders with the idea that, oh, if I do it again, I bet there's some other cool stuff I could learn, it just further prepares us for the harder climbs we're going to do later in our session and just broadens our skill set a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're on to our V9 Plus tips, and I'm joined by me, apparently. Now, I thought this was actually a pretty interesting one. When you get to a really high level of climbing, it's natural to then focus more on the physical attributes. Like, you've learned loads of good stuff, you've perfected your skills, now all that's left is get stronger fingers, do loads of conditioning. I actually think, though, my tip would be, don't assume you've mastered everything. It's really easy to fall into the trap of assuming that you've learned everything you need to and now all you need is stronger fingers. My advice, though, would be keep that beginner's mindset. Assume that all of the tips that I've listed in that video apply just as much to you as they do to everybody else. Keep focusing on learning to commit to moves and maintaining confidence when you're failing on a climb over and over again. Keep making sure that you're approaching and tackling climbs which don't suit you. Keep making sure that you're repeating climbs at a mid-grade and doing warm-up drills to help you learn new skills. And do all of that whilst practicing the stuff you want to be really good at and specialising in terms of strength and skill that you want to apply to the specific hard things you really, really want to do. That would be my tip for really strong climbers.
That brings to an end our tips for improvement at every grade. Thank you very much to Louis
Oh,
for
you're
running
more than welcome,
through
Hannah. It was a pleasure.
those with me. If you would like to catch Louis over on Catalyst Climbing, then there's a video, a collaboration between the two of us over on there, so make sure you go and give them a follow, give that a watch, give that video a like. I'll leave it in a card
subscribe
here.
as well. It's nice to subscribe. Everyone loves to
Louis.
subscribe.
Also, if you would like to buy a t-shirt, then please do. We have just released this t-shirt in collaboration with Runye. It's now over on their website, so I'm going to leave a link to that in the description of the video so you can click through and go and check that out.
See ya.
See you soon.
Bye. Very quickly, I know I said it at the start, folks, but those tips are generalised. In my opinion, those are the ones that are most common at each of those grade brackets. But that doesn't mean that you might not be in one grade bracket needing to pay attention to one of the earlier tips, or vice versa. So just bear in mind that those are like general tips. Don't worry if they don't apply to you and other ones feel like they're a better fit. Just do whatever feels best for you.